Get ready, fight fans. In this video, we're diving deep into the UFC universe, predicting every champion by the dawn of 2024. From analyzing fighter prowess to division dynamics, we're making our educated guesses on who might be holding those belts. Keep in mind, it's all speculation, and the real thrill is in the octagon's twists and turns. Let's jump in and forecast the potential UFC champions of 2024. Kicking things off with the women's strawweight division, all eyes are on Zhang Weili. Her upcoming bout against Amanda Lemos promises an intriguing clash of styles, particularly if it stays standing. However, I believe that Weili's enhanced physicality and grappling skills will prove to be the difference maker. I predict she'll secure a victory over Lemos and retain her championship. With August already upon us, it's uncertain if she'll have another title defense before January 2024. While it's possible, I'm leaning towards her maintaining her title reign into the new year. Moving on to the women's flyweight division, we have a tantalizing rematch on the horizon between Alexa Grasso and the former champion, Valentina Shevchenko. In their previous encounter, Grasso managed to secure a victory. However, I believe this time the outcome will be different. Shevchenko strikes me as a fighter who doesn't falter after a loss. Instead, she uses it as motivation to come back stronger. Her determination to reclaim her belt seems unwavering. I predict a meticulously executed game plan from Shevchenko as she edges out Grasso over 5 rounds and regains her title. As we approach the new year, my forecast for the women's flyweight champion of 2024 is none other than Valentina Shevchenko, once again asserting her dominance in the division. Now, turning our attention to the women's bantamweight division, things are heating up with the title left vacant after Amanda Nunes' recent retirement. The rumor mill has been buzzing with talks of Ronda Rousey's return, adding a layer of excitement. However, there are other strong contenders in the mix, such as Juliana Pena, the former champion who halted Amanda Nunes' winning streak, albeit briefly. Another name in contention is Raquel Pennington, currently ranked second. While the potential scenario of Juliana Pena versus Raquel Pennington for the vacant belt might not be as flashy as some would hope, it's a match that makes sense in terms of rankings and history. Considering Pennington's impressive 5-fight winning streak and her history of fighting twice a year, she could be on track for a late-year title shot. Her victory over Ketlin Vieira in January showcased her capabilities. Taking all this into account, I'm inclined to predict that Raquel Pennington will emerge victorious in a potential showdown against Juliana. With both fighters having had ample time to recover and prepare, I see Pennington's momentum carrying her to victory as she secures the women's bantamweight championship by the end of the year. Now, let's focus on the men's flyweight division, where the landscape appears to be shaping up for an intriguing finish to the year. After a grueling battle with Brandon Moreno, Alexander Pantoja could be eyeing a title defense around December. The question then becomes, who would his opponent be? It's a puzzle given the mix of contenders. Amir Albazi, having secured a contentious decision over Kai Kara France, seems like a logical next contender. However, the validity of his claim can be debated, as can be said for Deiveson Figueiredo, who has had multiple title fights. The wish to see Brandon Royval in the spotlight might be tempered by his current ranking. If we're looking at a likely choice, Albazi might be the one stepping up. A fresh matchup with Pantoja could be enticing for the division, especially if the goal is to avoid immediate rematches with Moreno or Figueiredo. But, in terms of predictions, I have to admit that my confidence wavers. Pantoja's striking has shown improvement, and his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu proficiency could negate Albazi's ground game. While both fighters have areas of vulnerability, I lean toward Pantoja's experience and growth in the striking department. Though predicting the exact outcome is challenging, I could see Pantoja using his well-rounded skills to submit Albazi. Considering all these factors, I'm leaning toward Alexander Pantoja retaining his championship status by 2024. Turning our attention to the bantamweight division, the landscape is intriguing with Aljamain Sterling's plans to move up to 145 pounds after his upcoming fight with Sean O'Malley. Sterling's announcement points to a potential vacancy in the bantamweight belt or his friend, the #1 contender Merab Dvalishvili, stepping in to fight for the title.
This is hot scissoring.
Should Aljamain Sterling triumph against O'Malley, which seems likely given his skills and experience, the stage could be set for a matchup between Merab and perhaps Corey Sandhagen. Corey's recent victories, albeit somewhat uneventful, against Rob Font and Marlon Vera position him as a legitimate contender. A bout between Sandhagen and Merab for the vacant belt would make sense. Considering the timeline, if Aljamain Sterling indeed relinquishes the belt promptly, it might be possible to arrange a bantamweight fight by December. However, the next title defense could realistically take place around the end of January or February in 2024 if Sterling adheres to his intentions.
Because I'm coming on your ass, boy.
His friendship with Merab suggests that he might uphold his word. This scenario potentially leaves the bantamweight belt vacant as we step into 2024, unless a late December fight materializes. In conclusion, the bantamweight division's dynamics are a mix of strategic decisions, timing, and contenders' performance. The next few months could see significant shifts, ultimately shaping the division's landscape heading into 2024. Shifting our focus to the featherweight division, it's clear that Alexander Volkanovski has solidified himself as a dominant force in the weight class. While contenders like Ilia Topuria have showcased remarkable skill and potential, the challenge of dethroning Volkanovski seems daunting at this point. Even with Ilia Topuria's impressive abilities, the prospect of him facing Volkanovski by the end of the year may not be enough to overcome the champion's current form. Topuria's consistent placement in the division's top ranks suggests his promise as a future contender and possibly a future champion, but the present state of Volkanovski presents a significant hurdle. Topuria's skills could easily place him in the top 5 of the division at any given time. However, taking on an accomplished champion like Volkanovski demands a certain level of experience and strategic prowess. The likelihood of Topuria beating Volkanovski, given his current level of experience and development, is perhaps not as high as in the future. Taking all these aspects into consideration, I'm inclined to predict that Alexander Volkanovski will continue his championship reign in the featherweight division. While Ilia Topuria's potential is undeniable, the timing and the challenge posed by Volkanovski's well-rounded skill set make it an uphill battle to envision a title change in the near future. Now, we turn our attention to the lightweight division, where Islam Makhachev has risen to the throne as the UFC lightweight champion. While the prospect of Charles Oliveira avenging his loss and delivering a spectacular knockout in Abu Dhabi is alluring, the reality might be different. It's evident that Makhachev's growth extends even to his striking skills, a revelation that became apparent in his 5-round battle with Alexander Volkanovski, where he demonstrated his striking prowess. As much as we'd love to witness a dramatic upset, the likelihood of Charles Oliveira overcoming Makhachev's well-rounded game seems slim. Makhachev's striking development and his ability to hurt fighters of Volkanovski's caliber point to his evolution as a fighter. Considering their previous bout, where Makhachev secured a victory, the rematch could play out in a similar fashion. While the MMA landscape is known for its unpredictability and Oliveira's knockout power is undeniable, Makhachev's comprehensive skill set provides him with the tools to weather such storms. Hence, my prediction leans toward Islam Makhachev retaining his championship status as we approach 2024. As we shift our focus to the welterweight division, my prediction points to Leon Edwards emerging as the champion going into 2024. With a scheduled fight against Colby Covington later this year, Edwards faces a significant challenge. However, his recent performances and the evolution of his skill set suggest a path to victory. One of Edwards' most notable improvements has been his grappling defense, a trait highlighted in his bout against Kamaru Usman. This newfound resilience might serve him well against Colby Covington, known for his grappling acumen. While Colby Covington possesses an exceptional gas tank, Edwards' technical striking prowess and his ability to maintain a high pace bode well for a potential 5-round battle. Although Edwards has demonstrated a tendency to slow down as fights progress, Colby's renowned stamina might not offer him as significant an advantage as it would against other opponents. Moreover, Edwards' technical striking, which far surpasses Colby's unorthodox and often criticized striking style, gives him a strong advantage in the stand-up exchanges. Additionally, Edwards' size advantage could play a pivotal role, affording him more power and making takedowns more challenging for Colby. Considering the aforementioned factors, my prediction leans towards Leon Edwards securing a decision victory against Colby Covington in their upcoming fight. As the division continues to evolve, new contenders and challenges will inevitably arise. But for now, the prospect of Leon Edwards retaining his championship status as we move into 2024 seems plausible, and instilled could very well echo in the welterweight division. Looking ahead to the middleweight division, a highly anticipated clash is on the horizon as Israel Adesanya is scheduled to take on Sean Strickland next month. While the prospect of exciting title changes may not be as evident in this case, the matchup still promises intriguing dynamics. Adesanya's approach to fighting is a testament to his mastery. His utilization of leg kicks, as evidenced in his fights against Yoel Romero and Jared Cannonier, showcases his skill in exploiting opponents' vulnerabilities. Strickland's historically poor leg kick defense could play into Adesanya's strengths. Adesanya's precise leg kicks and calculated striking could spell trouble for Strickland. Anticipating Adesanya putting in the work against Strickland isn't a far-fetched notion. However, Strickland's unorthodox nature adds an element of unpredictability. His knack for creating headlines, as evidenced by his memorable trash talk,
"Oh man, I made the champion man with his frosted tips and his gay little watch,"
injects an entertaining aspect into the build-up. In the end, the skill discrepancy in striking might very well see Adesanya dominate Strickland, landing leg kicks and outmaneuvering him in the exchanges. While the promise of a dominant victory seems likely, the ever-unpredictable nature of MMA reminds us that surprises can unfold. Amidst the anticipation for this fight, it's worth noting that Israel Adesanya's mastery in the striking realm firmly establishes him as a formidable force. As we approach his clash with Sean Strickland, the expectation of Adesanya retaining his championship and holding the belt into 2024 adds another layer of intrigue to the division's narrative. The light heavyweight division has undergone a series of perplexing events that have left fans and analysts alike scratching their heads. The journey begins with Yuri Prochaska's astonishing submission victory over Glover Teixeira in a grueling 5-round war. However, Prochaska's reign was short-lived due to a shoulder injury, leading to the belt's vacancy. Magomed Ankalaev and Jan Blachowicz were positioned to contest for the vacant title, but their encounter ended in an unexpected draw that left Dana White pissed off. This frustration led to a decisive reset of sorts, with White throwing the plans out the window. An abrupt turn of events saw Teixeira receiving a rematch against the new contender, Jamal Hill, in Brazil. In a twist of fate, Hill emerged victorious, putting an end to Teixeira's storied career as he retired after one final bid for glory. But the unforgiving nature of the UFC struck again as Hill had to relinquish the belt due to an injury, as recently announced on his YouTube channel. This leaves the title vacant once more, perpetuating the division's uncertainty. Amidst this turmoil, enters Alex Pereira, a former two-division champion in Glory Kickboxing. Pereira's unique claim to fame includes defeating Israel Adesanya twice in kickboxing and once in MMA, winning the middleweight belt, though losing it immediately to Adesanya in their second MMA encounter by devastating knockout. Transitioning to the light heavyweight division, Pereira showcased his prowess by vanquishing former champion Jan Blachowicz, the only other man to have beaten Adesanya in the UFC. In response to Pereira's triumph, the UFC seems poised to arrange a clash between Pereira and Yuri Prochaska, although specific details regarding the fight's date remain unclear at present. If this anticipated matchup transpires within the boundaries of 2023, my prediction tilts in favor of Pereira seizing the moment. The prospect of Pereira concluding the year as both a double-division kickboxing champion and UFC title holder is indeed extraordinary, especially considering his relatively low number of professional fights. In the heavyweight division, we find ourselves at an intriguing juncture with John Jones set to face Stipe Miocic. Let's be frank, Stipe, while an accomplished veteran, is showing signs of wear and tear at this stage of his career. The anticipated clash with Jon Jones might prove a daunting task, as Jones' capabilities seem poised to dominate. Predicting and still, Jon Jones retaining the heavyweight championship as we enter 2024 appears likely. Yet, Jones' proclaimed retirement after facing Stipe might not come to fruition. The allure of securing 3 heavyweight title defenses and solidifying his status as the best across heavyweight and light heavyweight divisions might prove irresistible, especially if he tackles well-rounded rising stars like Sergey Pavlovich or Tom Aspinall. But let's address the immediate challenge, Stipe Miocic. As we break down this clash, it's evident that Jon Jones holds the upper hand across multiple facets. His striking arsenal is more dynamic and refined, encompassing both his powerful legs and adept wrestling skills. While both fighters may carry years of experience, it's worth noting that Jones is in a relatively fresher stage of his career compared to Stipe. As age inevitably takes its toll, we might witness the effects on Stipe's performance, especially in a high-stakes encounter like this one. Jones doesn't seem inclined to approach his venture into heavyweight with anything but complete focus. With his sights set on a swift ascent, it's conceivable that Jones will be aiming for a decisive finish. Considering these factors, my prediction leans toward Jon Jones securing a convincing victory. His multifaceted skill set, fight intelligence, and a potentially telling age disparity might culminate in Jones finishing the fight within the distance. And with that, my UFC champion predictions for 2024 draw to a close. Thank you all for joining me on this exploration of the divisions. As always, if you hold a different perspective, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. I'm the MMA Spokesman, and until the next video, take care.